Good morning, and welcome back to our virtual class in physical education. We are now in Module 6, Grade 9, PE. And our topic for today is about environmental ethics. Fourth quarter, Week 6. The most essential learning competency is practices environmental ethics. Example, leave no trace. During participation in recreational activities of the community. At the end of the lesson, the learners should be able to learn the 7 principles of leave no trace or LNT. Show creativity in promoting the 7 principles of leave no trace, and write an essay about environmental ethics. But before we proceed, let us have a pre-test. Signs and symbols are just about everywhere. At a quick glance, they inform us, warn us, and direct us. Look at each sign and think about what it means. Write the words and phrases from the box below the correct sign. You are given 15 seconds to answer this pre-test. Good job. Now let's check your answers. 1. Flammable. 2. Poison. 3. No bicycles. 4. Food. 5. Lodging. 6. School zone. 7. Railroad crossing. 8. Camping. 9. Fuel. 10. Slippery road. 11. Hiking trail. And 12. Handicapped access. Now let's have a short review about our previous lesson. Arrange the following sentences below according to the basic steps of Zumba. Write step 1 to step 6 on the line provided. You have 5 seconds to arrange the basic Zumba steps. Let's check. Very good. Now let's proceed to our lesson for today about the environmental ethics. The Leave No Trace policy. Leave No Trace is a set of outdoor ethics promoting conservation in the outdoors. It consists of 7 principles, and these principles have been adapted to different activities, ecosystems and environments. In the mid-20th century there was a cultural shift in wilderness ethics from woodcraft, where wilderness travelers prided themselves on their ability to rely on the resources of wild lands, to a post-World War II ethics of minimal impact on the environment. Leave No Trace began in the 1960s and 1970s. There was a large increase of wilderness visitation following the creation of new recreational equipment such as white gas stoves, synthetic tents, and sleeping pads. This began a commercial interest in outdoor recreation, which in turn caused more visitors to national parks. In those decades, the United States Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the National Park Service started to teach their non-motorized visitors how to have a minimal impact on the land. Wilderness informational specialists were trained to educate visitors on minimal impact camping in the different parks. In 1987, the 3 departments cooperatively developed a pamphlet titled, Leave No Trace Land Ethics. The National Education Program of Leave No Trace was developed in 1990 by the United States Forest Service in conjunction with the National Outdoor Leadership School, or NOLS. The Leave No Trace 7 Principles. 1. Plan ahead and prepare. Get to know the area you're visiting. Do some background research on the place, people, ways for transport, and the local weather. Prepare well for your trip. Pack a first aid kit, appropriate clothing, and just the right amount of food. Familiarize yourself with the proper technical know-how needed for whatever adventure you're about to embark on. 2. Travel and camp on durable ground. Do not walk and travel on places that have not been made for human transit. Trampling on vegetation may not seem like a big deal, but it can greatly alter an area. Even if it means taking the longer route to get to your destination, do so to minimize damage. Walk on sturdy ground which doesn't erode and crumble when stepped on. When setting up camp, look for relatively barren ground to avoid damaging vegetation. 3. Dispose of waste properly. Pack it in, pack it out. Whatever you bring to a place, make sure to bring all of it back home with you. Do not leave any garbage while outdoors, like wet wipes, leftover food, tin cans, plastic containers, mineral water bottles, utensils, cigarette butts or packs, alcohol bottles and so on. Garbage does not belong in forests, beaches, or summits. Garbage should be disposed of in cities. None of us want to go through a long commute to visit a place festering with trash. Not your trash you see on the ground. Doesn't matter. Pick it up. It will go a long way. 4. Leave what you find. Imagine a visitor coming to your house and taking a nice piece of your furniture before leaving. As seemingly innocuous as taking home a bit of sand, or a pretty shell, or flowers, resist the temptation and leave it there for others to appreciate. Refrain from defacing or vandalizing anything outdoors, as it is disrespectful to the environment, to the locals, and to other visitors. When inside caves, refrain from touching walls, stalagmites, and stalactites, as it damages them. Always remember to keep the environment as pristine as possible. 5. Minimize campfire impacts. In light of brush and forest fires, this rule goes without saying. Refrain from even creating a campfire, as it is a hazard to the environment you're in. Aside from this, the aftermath of a campfire is unsightly, as ash-burned logs, and rocks covered in soot will be left behind. If absolutely necessary, only ever set up a campfire on an existing fire pit to reduce damage to an area, keeping it as clean as possible. 6. Respect wildlife. Refrain from playing, taunting, feeding or abusing local wildlife. You are merely a visitor in their area. With pollution, rise in temperatures and fast encroaching development all over, our wildlife have enough problems to deal with. We visitors should help them survive rather than add to their problems. 7. Be considerate of other visitors. How would you feel if the group before you completely littered the place, leaving food remains, alcohol bottles, plastic bags, and bottles of butane? What if they picked the flowers you wanted to see, scared wildlife away, carved their names on stones or tree bark, set multiple campfires, and trampled on patches of greenery that effectively killed vegetation? It too would kill the experience for you. Refrain from being that person in that group. Respect other visitors, and most importantly, respect the locals who live in the area. That is their home. Take good care of it. Take a virtual park visit. Have you been to a park? Try to imagine the scenery in the park that you have visited and list the things you remember about that park. How do you think the 7 principles of Leave No Trace apply at this park? Leave no trace is about making good decisions to protect the world around you, the world we all enjoy. 1. Imagine that you have asked to make a simple brochure for the park that you just toured. In the first section, write the name of the park and put a short description. 2. In the second section, write about things you can do at this park. Draw a picture of what you would like to do if you ever visit in person. In the third section, write down the names of each of the 7 principles. 3. In the fourth section, write about why Leave No Trace is important in this park. 4. Fold the brochure along the dashed lines. And 5. On the outside cover, write your name and the name of the park. Decorate the cover with pictures that represent this park. And to wrap up our discussion, please circle the number that shows your level of understanding or learning in this lesson. Number 1. I now understand the Leave No Trace Behind principles. Did you learn a little? Some. Or a lot? Number 2. I know how to use the Leave No Trace principles the next time I go on a hike. Did you learn a little? Some. Or a lot? For our valuing, write an essay or a short paragraph about the given quotation below, in connection to the environmental ethics and the 7 principles of Leave No Trace as discussed. Take nothing but pictures. Leave nothing but footprints. And kill nothing but time. Now for the last part, which is the post-test. Read each questions below and put a check mark on the circle of the correct answer. You have 5 seconds to answer each number. Number 1. Which of the following is not a leave no trace principle? Is it plan ahead and prepare, organize your equipment, or respect wildlife? Very good. The answer is organize your equipment. Number 2. Leave no trace is for outdoors only. Is it true or false? Very good. The answer is false, because LNT can be applicable both indoor and outdoor. Number 3. You are organizing your food before an expedition so that there is minimal rubbish. What principle or principles would this fit into? It is A. Plan ahead and prepare. B. Dispose of waste properly. C. Leave what you find. Or D. A and B. Very good. The answer is D and B. Number 4. Where can you use the leave no trace principles? A. When you're outside. B. At school. C. At home. D. On expedition. Or E. All of the above. Very good. The answer is E. All of the above. And number 5. Leave no trace teaches people to respect different cultures. Is it true or false? Very good. The answer is true. And that is the end of our lesson for today. Thank you for listening, and see you again next week. Keep safe, learners.